First of our speakers for this session is one of the football greats. He's the only player in history to have won UEFA Champions League with 3 different clubs, Ajax, Real Madrid, and AC Milan twice. Quite a collection, right? Yeah. Well, I think he has always used his presence and his footballing ability to make the world a better place. He's one of the 6 of the chosen ones by Nelson Mandela. Speaks also 6 languages. He's a blogger at New York Times, founder of the Black Impact Foundation. He completed his education at PNL courses, sports psychology, management, economics, also a business consultant, and counts different public speaking activities such as Council of Europe to hosting FIFA Football Congress to Oxford Universities, Harvard University, and other institutes and multinationals.
A big applause to Clarence Seedorf!
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Olá.
Olá, tudo bom?
Tudo bem, tudo bem.
And to our unofficial kind of co-host this evening, Shota Arveladze.
Shota, Clarence, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
It was Clarence here again.
Thank you.
25 years ago, maybe a little bit more, when I signed to Ajax, nobody believed before I fly to Amsterdam, sign and bring photos, really official photos, to say I'm really Ajax football player.
Yeah, and
when I heard,
left a legacy.
yes, thank you. But
Yes.
when I heard the people saying, you today standing with me in this, my lovely country and my Tiflis, it's also fantastic feeling for me. So
Thank you.
let's
Thank
start
you so
with
much.
Amsterdam also.
Thank you so
okay?
much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
One and only.
Pleasure.
I mentioned Amsterdam.
Yes.
So, and I read the article that you once said, like, you wear the 2 size bigger shoes to present first and come and play and show your fantastic and magic skills.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was crazy. First of all, thank you for the warm applause. Thank you for the warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be back.
Pleasure
And
as well.
to be back with more time and to enjoy the beautiful city. It's a crazy experience because my father was the football player at home, of course. He actually was very talented, but different times. And I had this open day that Ajax
Yes,
does.
open day, open
Every
day.
year they have like 3 days, and then people
They
come from.
scout.
They do the scouting. People come from all over the place and just play matches and stuff. I didn't have shoes. We didn't have so much money, so I used my father's shoes. I put 3 extra socks, thick ones, to make sure my foot wouldn't slip out. Nevertheless, we could show enough of our skills to be taken out. And the name of that was Quick or something. It had like 2 stripes.
Quick, yes,
It was a bad
yes.
copy of Adidas.
Absolutely, yes.
But it was, I mean, at those times, the only thing you think about is really to go on that pitch and enjoy playing. And after that, they called me off the pitch. We had to go in a room with the director, and they would say, welcome to the Ajax Youth, and we signed something, and we started the journey.
And that was actually kind of beginning of era you guys created. And you met Louis somehow. I worked with him as assistant coach, and I was football player in AZ, so he was a coach.
Yes.
And I know the way he does, but I think you met him when he was really, how you say, I don't know, full of energy.
The timing of having him at Ajax at that moment was perfect. He was a school teacher. Louis van Gaal was a gym teacher. He was a physical education teacher. And so he worked with methodologies. He was very strict, but he could also have a lot of patience with young players. Yeah, because his whole philosophy was getting the best out of young players, out of young people. And I think that clicked perfectly with the Ajax system and philosophy. And the young team that we had with some experienced players, and then Rijkaard came the year of the Champions League as well. So we had a great mix. And the special thing about him, I believe, was he was like a visionary coach who had new ideas. And he was very good to use the young energy of the team to make things special. Because the young players, anything the coach says, generally they go for it. And they go for it 100%. And he was saying good things, of course.
Yes.
And a lot of players that came from Ajax already, from the youth, which you know is the magic of the club.
Absolutely.
You know, when you come from the youth, you go all the way, you come in the first team, it seems like nothing is simple. You know everything, right?
When you play first Champions League game, it looks like you played already this before. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I had this feeling, Shota, after I left Ajax, that wow, actually, that was not so normal, the things we were doing in those years, you know, and playing in Euro and winning those important international matches, and then the Champions League. You considered it almost normal, but when I left is when I really realized how special.
It was so hard job to do.
Yeah.
Fantastic, yes. And you mentioned your generation, Edgar, Patrick. They maybe Edgar is a little bit older, Rijkaard is a little bit older. Patrick is probably your generation.
Yes.
But, and you also mentioned Frank Rijkaard. I always feel like you especially, and that boys had different respect and love with Frank. And
it was different.
Can you tell us something?
It was different just because of the shirt. Because Frank Rijkaard was an Ajax player, and Ruud Gullit was, of course, with the Rifles.
And he played some different clubs.
Yeah. He was on the other part of the Netherlands.
Yes.
But I have to say, and that's why Rijkaard was like the first option as an idol. It was pretty natural for me, at least. But Ruud Gullit was also one of our idols, because then with the Dutch national team, he was the captain. And I mean,
really
what an amazing player and what an amazing person. Today we're even closer than before.
I know him.
So it was very special, very special.
Yeah, so good. You've come to academy, then you win trophies which you said it was just like a normal. Yeah. And then it was the years when the Bosman case comes out.
Yes.
And you go to Sampdoria. What was the reason, or what was the point? Who was the person maybe that gives you more feeling like you have to go and Genoa, I know, fantastic place.
Genoa is beautiful.
Beautiful. You can have a lunch in Milan. You can breakfast in Monte Carlo. But I don't think you made the choice because of that. So
no, I didn't even know Monte Carlo. Luckily.
Probably you done that. Yes.
No, honestly,
breakfast, lunch, and a dinner different.
I wish I knew.
Okay.
I wish I knew. I was too young. I was still exploring the world. No, I mean, I actually signed with Juventus.
Oh.
I actually signed with Juventus when I was in Ajax, and when I decided to leave, and then I signed with Juventus. And Paulo Sousa signed with Dortmund, did his medical check, and he didn't come through. Okay. So that contract was cancelled. So he had to go back to Juventus. So Juventus had to cancel also our contract because there was no place
or whatever.
And but I decided that I wanted to leave anyway.
Look, nobody probably knows that.
No, it's not.
Details,
no, we don't really say it so much. But that was one of the things. And then I waited for some other options. And of course, I was very young. I was only 19. Yeah. And I didn't really take advantage of the Bosman case because my contract finished completely. And at that point, Sampdoria came at the end of the vacation. Ruud Gullit, Platt, David Platt, Mancini.
They become a champion also.
They played the final the year before the Champions League, I believe.
Against Barcelona.
Against Barcelona, and they lost.
With Ronald's.
Yeah, but it was an amazing team, Sampdoria, at that point. Sven-Goran Eriksson was the coach.
Is it Vialli?
Vialli was there as well the year before. But when I came, Gullit, Vialli, many left to Juventus. Okay. Juventus took The bald guy, I remember his name on the right side.
You're right, I know.
Lombardi.
Bravo, because he's
10 points.
He's similar to it.
So then we brought me, Carambeu, Enrico Chiesa, younger blood in the team, but it was the best choice ever for me because Italy was the best league in the world at that moment, the toughest league in the world. And so I was every week playing against top teams and players and defenders. So, and I had to adjust to a new culture. I think you can understand, once you come from Ajax, you're used to having possession a lot.
Absolutely.
Touching the ball a lot. And then you go to Italy, and then you don't touch the ball as much anymore. Yeah. So I had to start learning how to be patient. And I think that for me was the best time because they gave me the time to adapt. And I think the limit of Dutch football is a little bit when that talent is not there so special, then we have a hard time to win. And what I learned in Italy is that even if we don't have a lot of talent, but you have a lot of character, organization, you can still win. And it opened my eyes.
So they play also for results. So it's 100%. Not only like football, you know, what we used to hear in Holland, football. So whatever you do, you just have to play.
Oh yeah, we played so well, but we lost again. But we played so well. Yeah, no, I mean that culture is completely different, and it definitely made me more complete as a player because at the end, there's no better joy than winning.
Absolutely.
So
we play to win.
Yeah. Then of course you won't win every time, but to have that mentality.
Good. You mentioned Carambeu, and after what we mentioned, also the absolutely two different cultures, Dutch football and Italian football. Then you moved to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That time they don't win the Champions League for 30 years.
Yes.
And you said, I'm going to go and play under Fabio Capello.
Fabio Capello, yes. But maybe it's interesting to share how I came to go to Madrid. After the last match in the season with Sampdoria, we played against AC Milan. They were champions at that moment of Italy, and we won 3-0. And in both matches against AC Milan, I played very well. And after the match, I take my shower, I go out, I go to my car, and then Capello was standing in the hallway, and he said, hey, come here. I said, I run.
Could you already speak that much Italian?
Yeah. After a year, after 4 months, I was catching it up. Yeah, it was not so easy, but when you practice.
Secondo me, pero.
No, it's a beautiful language, by the way.
Yes,
and I went to him and I said, Buonasera, mister. And then he asked me straight away, do you want to come with me to Real Madrid?
Wow.
No. He didn't start like that. He said, where is Carambeu? I said, he's under the shower. Go and get Carambeu. So I was the fastest guy in the world. Went to Carambeu.
You actually was.
I said, Christian, and he with his hair, he was shampoo and everything.
I can imagine
I said,
how much time
you need to come now with me. He said, why? I said, Capello's waiting for us. Okay. So he quickly changed.
Did he get shoes on or he was?
I don't know. I think slippers.
Flip-flops.
Yeah, flip-flops. I think flip-flops. So we go, and then we stand in front of him, and he said, guys, do you want to come with me to Real Madrid? And we look at each other. We look at the back.
Is it real or not?
He's talking to us. He said, just wait a minute, I'm going to get my luggage and I will come immediately.
Direct.
So this is how it happened. 3 days later, I signed with Madrid. And maybe another small anecdote is that when I was 15, Real Madrid called Ajax. And they said, we want to have Seedorf. No, they didn't call Ajax, actually. They called my parents.
Yeah, okay.
And my parents said no.
Not asking you, Clarence.
No, they didn't ask. They gently advised.
Okay, to stay.
Yes.
That's a good gentleman advice.
You need to finish your school.
Okay.
It was actually not even a discussion. And I was okay with it, because Ajax was top club. at that moment. So there was no rush to go.
To
But Madrid and Milan were always my favorite teams outside because of Leo Beenhakker. You remember the coach?
Don Leo.
Don Leo. And he was
with his famous move.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then the three Dutch guys in AC Milan, of course. So we grew up looking at Madrid and AC Milan. So I signed after 3 days, and Karamberg came only a year later because he got stuck in some kind of contractual things.
Problems, okay.
Yeah, but he came, so he never. So
you went to the back to shower when you
signed
no. Go. You said go take a shower.
Actually, when I came to Real Madrid, also Roberto Carlos came at the same moment.
Okay.
Same moment, Roberto Carlos.
From Inter.
From
Inter, yes.
And we became roommates and everything. And Karamberg, unfortunately, didn't make it. Capello left after only 1 year.
After 1 year, be a champion, by the way. But
7 years, Real Madrid don't win the league.
That's a good point. He won the league and he must to leave.
He leaves because Berlusconi calls him. I need you back. Berlusconi gave him the start of his career, so understandable. And then Karamberg come. Good. And then the rest is history.
Played 5 Champions League finals. And you see, it's a lot of, I always make a joke actually that people, I believe maybe not all of them even see in television last 5 Champions League finals, but you played 5. They all want to know what happens against Liverpool. No, wait, because I tell you why.
I know.
I would ask how you win 4 times. But that's people wants to know. Once I heard when they asked to Maradona, how you score with your hand against England. But he answered back, why you guys don't ask me the second goal when I passed 7 players in the score? That was more difficult to do.
I always say, you guys really love me, huh? You want me to continue to talk about that day? No, it's really. No, it's. I think to make people understand, because I believe there is a magic of football that we cannot explain in words. That's why football is the craziest sport in the world, where in the minute 95, you win the final and then things change around and you lose the final. Things can happen in 30 seconds. With us, it happened in 6 minutes, that the game was turned around. How are you going to explain that? We were a team used to winning. We knew how to kill matches. We knew how to maintain results. We knew how to maintain 1-0. Imagine 3-0. So it happened twice with that Milan, actually, because against Deportivo La Coruña, we were winning 4-1. We went there, we lose 4-0. Impossible. Yes. Impossible. If you play against, you play against another 10 times, you win all the 10 times. But they say the gods of football decided this year it has to go to.
They decided to make first 3-0 and then
it was our best final. We played the best match ever, first half and second half. But 6 minutes, because we went out. If you remember, Shevchenko had with an incredible save.
And Dudek with this.
Yeah. When I meet him, I ask him still, did you do it on purpose or it was just reflection?
Because he says, I was afraid that
I just did this. But so there were 6 minutes in which you didn't even do anything really wrong. We were defending well, we were aggressive. I remember that the goal from the outside of the box, I went to block it, it went through my legs, it went through another people's leg, and went in the corner. I mean...
everything works against.
It was just not happening. And then after those 3 goals, 3-3, it was all Milan again. And then penalties, we know how that goes. But people expect that maybe we relaxed, we go in the dressing room, but just imagine that this was a killer machine. This team was we knew how to finish matches, and we were winning so many things. We were playing finals. We were there already so many times. Too much experience to relax. Things can turn around.
Yeah, for sure. So now people know that, actually.
Yeah.
And probably they will mostly will ask.
No, but people are not satisfied when I explain this because they want to hear.
Because you say nothing.
They want to hear the coach didn't say anything, or the players went and took their coffee and had a cookie.
We smoke little bit behind the doors.
Maybe we were just listening to music and doing other things. In those 10 minutes that we have in the dressing room, I remember that half of the team never sat down.
They just been walking,
just
to go out again.
Yeah. Because
just to keep this anger,
And we went out good. We started well.
That's why we love football. That's why this is magic of football, absolutely. Tell us how actually Ancelotti was a coach and they found the role of two fantastic, I would say, the player, two creator, two really the brain of the team, to put them, like, let's say, same time in the same page.
Yeah.
And the win also.
Yeah, it was a challenge for Ancelotti to put, because in the first year he had Rui Costa, he had myself, he had Pirlo, and we're actually all number 10s. And, he looked at us and he said, listen, I'm going to put all of you on the pitch. You figure it out when we have the ball. But when we defend, this is what we're going to do.
The task you guys have.
Yes, and I think that is where the professionalism comes in place of each player and the will and to respect the team. So Pirlo went back, and I think that was a really good thing for him because he didn't have maybe the speed on the short, but he had the brains and he had the quality with the feet. So we completed each other very well. I was the connection between midfield and the strikers. And he had the defenders and midfield, and then of course he could make the long balls and stuff. And then we had Rui Costa, who was all over let's say the 3/4 of the field, to do his magic as well, and it started functioning. And sometimes I would end up in front of Rui Costa, he would come back on the midfield. Sometimes Pirlo would end up a little bit in front, I would go in his role, even for 2 minutes.
And it was going so automatically that you.
It was automatically, but what I liked about that was not so much about the tactical things that happened. It was about the respect among the players and the willingness to cover for each other. You know that at the end of the day, it's about how you defend.
Yes.
When we have the ball, we do magic.
Yeah, that's when you put your ego out and you just do for your teammate.
Make the run back.
Absolutely.
And later Kaká came. Yeah, some guy from Brazil.
Yeah, some Brazilian.
One of the most amazing guys.
What was his name? Kaká, yeah.
Kaká. Ricardo Kaká. No, Ricardo, actually, he is the player that I connected most with. I was more a midfielder, he was more a striker. And I think our success of the last Champions League that we won in 2007.
And we're all proud that we had Arveladze there.
You
know, and the whole Georgia is proud that he joined this big, huge,
he's an amazing,
legendary team.
Yes. I mean, we could pick out of 8 defenders. We had so much quality. Maldini, Nesta, Arveladze, we had Cafu, Stam.
Please stop. Please stop. We're going to applaud the team, you know.
These guys.
Yeah.
And as a midfielder, you look back, it's good.
That's okay, good. That's fine.
Yeah, they have it.
And I once watched a broadcast with Rio Ferdinand. He had a guest, Boateng, you know, Kevin.
Yeah.
And he mentioned your name, and he says like, how you every day come to the training sessions with not like a really, you know, with the sport guys, they used to have shirts, like, you know, like a different shoes. You always look absolutely smart, always like a calm, ready for anything could happen in the training, and before the training, and also even after the training. And tell us, how important is it for even for the sport people to have this own discipline and dressed actually and be also good organized? And you had this always.
Yeah, my father put a tie on me when I was 14. So he said, you need to learn to put a tie on.
And you had the problems with
in the beginning, but I learned it very early.
You leave this like this, and then you put it on again?
You played with Van Gaal.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
he was obsessed.
Absolutely.
He had it like on here.
Yeah. Louis says, never dress like always on tie here.
I think the dress code, everybody has his own style.
Absolutely.
And of course, I don't always go like this. I also dress sporty. But I was doing business activities after my training. And sometimes I would go and meet people, so I could not go in a tracksuit to go and meet the people.
Dress, quick change.
I also did not explain this to the guys there, because there's none of their business.
Of course.
I think there was too much time left for me to just think about football. So I had to fill my time with other things as well. But Boateng talked about so many things, and I think the nice thing is that the acknowledgement of what it takes to be a real professional and to maintain yourself at a high level for a long time. And I think that, you know...
It was a very positive.
Yeah, exactly. What I mean. I think that, I mean, he was a younger guy. He came in, and when you see such a level, I thought I was a top professional. And then I came, and then you had the Maldinis, the Costa Curtas, and all these guys. And they were taking things to a different level.
Absolutely.
Because the Italian way of taking care of the details of the food, of when I eat, when you don't eat, and all of this stuff.
How you sleep, how you walk.
In the Netherlands, we would have our fries and stuff.
Even in a Spielershal.
Yes. It's a different culture. And I learned that going to Italy. And then when I came to AC Milan, there was the first time in football, they came this Milan Lab, where now you would monitor every day your physical state, your mental state, your blood level, everything was tested every day. I was happy because finally I didn't have to run kilometers anymore, just personalized programs, you know. And that was impressive for me. So it added to what I did, and then the younger guys who would come in would see that. And I'm happy, you know.
He mentioned that, yes.
Yeah, I'm happy that he took the good things.
We spoke so much success in a club level. And it was a Dutch team, actually. And in my opinion, was like, of course, the Johan time. And probably what we mentioned, Frank Rijkaard, Gullit, and generation of Van Basten. And that was absolutely crazy Dutch team in the World Cup.
Yeah.
World Cup was 1998. We did absolutely great mix. Starting with Van der Sar, ending with Patrick and Bergkamp midfield, with you, with Ronald, with Edgar, defensive Frank de Boer, Jan Stamp, was Bogarde, Reisiger, fantastic Mark Overmars, and that fantastic semi-final actually against
Brazil.
Dream team, yes?
Yeah.
And I would say it was both dream teams.
Yeah, crazy.
Tell us about that. The phenomenal, the Brazilian also.
When I think about it, I think about Ronaldo, honestly speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot just watch Brazil and...
Yeah, people ask me and...
I was just in Brazil now, and when I'm asking actually, who is the best one? Who is the best one? They say Pelé primeiro, you know the way they speak. Secondo fenomeno Ronaldo. Terceiro Romario, you know, and then Ronaldinho Gaúcho, and then they always say Ronaldo phenomenal.
Yeah. Who are we talking? We're talking about guys that are on a different level. Romario probably is one of the best strikers in the box that we've seen. Yeah. But Ronaldo was so complete.
And you know him from Holland, of course.
We played. He was in PSV. He started same age as me, 16.
Yeah.
And then he came when he was 18 to the Netherlands. And then we played, of course, against the rivals, Ajax and PSV. And he was like incredible. You remember Brian Roy?
Of course.
Amazing talent. Went to PSV at a certain point. And he was sold, and he played with Ronaldo. And he came back one day in the dressing room with Ajax, and he, you know, just to say hi, how are you guys doing? And then he said, guys, I've seen an extraterrestre. I've seen E.T.
Oh.
We said, what do you mean? This Ronaldo's from a different planet. And he was 18. And Brian Rowe was very skillful, very skillful. Hearing it from him.
You should not be so surprised to see somebody else.
He was magic himself. So for us to hear that, and then we played against him, And we said, yes, wow, wow.
Butterfly.
So that Brazilian team had him and, of course, so many other incredible...
Rivaldo, and then there's Ronaldinho,
Roberto Carlos, Cafu on the other side. These two just going and running and running and running. And what a team.
But Dutch
what a team we had.
That's what I want to know, of course.
What a team we had.
And with Patrick and with Marek, with you.
And we went to penalties that match.
That's right.
So it was, I think, an anticipated final.
Hiddink actually.
Hiddink was there. I mean, those matches is what you play for. What can you do?
Yeah.
Only one can win. But I believe, again, it's also within... Once you know how to win, it becomes a habit and it becomes a culture. And I think the Brazilians, until that generation, definitely had it in their veins. If you remember, Ronaldo was in '94 on the bench. He didn't
play much, yes.
He didn't play 1 minute, but the experience of a World Cup...
To be there, yes, and the win.
...was so important,
with
and
Bebeto,
they did it.
Romario.
Romario, Bebeto.
Dunga.
Oh, Dunga, Aldair.
Absolutely.
Mauro Silva.
Yeah. When you, in general, ended your career, your career, you know, was pumping this, the Qatar, Dubai, Arabic the countries and in the places, China, and they've been offering like enormous amounts of money to the players. But what done Clarence Seedorf? He chose the actually best country in the world generally, the football country, Brazil. And he go to Botafogo, and you go there.
Yeah, first I think I always looked in a place where I can add value and have a challenge. Because after 10 years of AC Milan, I still wanted to play good football, but I also wanted to challenge. And challenges, for sure, I would find in China, I would find in Middle East, in America, because I also...
MLS, yes.
MLS was
that time was
an option.
Also.
So I was just before the boom of China. It was just before the crazy money they were spending and the focus on all the players and bring them in. I talked with many, and I ended up in the Galaxy when David Beckham was there. And I went there and I wanted to keep myself training because we were now in negotiations also with Brazil. But nothing was fixed. And when I went to train with LA Galaxy, then the coach after the first training said, "What are you doing tomorrow and what are you doing next week? And why actually you don't stay?"
Wow.
Yeah, and because Robbie Keane wanted to leave. So they would have a free spot. You know, they have 3 players that they can bring in outside the salary caps. Yes. So actually we tried to make that happen, but Robbie Keane decided to stay at the end. So that was not an option anymore. And I think a few weeks later I closed with Botafogo. And the reason why Brazil is that Brazil has always been very close to my heart. Because Suriname, where I was born, is a neighbor country. And for us, the national team was not, we didn't have a national team that was performing. So our national team was Brazil.
Okay.
In my home, my father would watch all the Brazilian matches. I had an uncle who had a whole stand with all the matches, like, I don't know, 300 video VHS cassettes there.
You can use
of all the
put
matches.
Again.
And I was set down, so we would go to visit them maybe in the weekends, and I would see 5 matches in a day. All the matches with Zico, with Socrates, with all the generation.
82 generation, 86 generation.
Junior, my idols, all these guys.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, it was an honor for me to go in a country considered by the world the football country.
Different football.
Different mentality, and I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed it so much.
Good. We make friends, you know, in this time.
True.
And different friends, different countries, different cultures. We speak different languages, actually. And I also, by the way, moved and have friends almost everywhere. And I see you so much busy with social things and the friends you have. But with who most, like in those days, you keep in touch? Like, who is the persons and the football players, your teammates, you generally like calling, asking, or they call you, or like maybe you go to celebrate Christmas? Is there anyone like this? Because I spend with my friends, of course.
Yeah.
Should be some 1 or 2 or 3, of course.
It's the beautiful thing of football for sure. The relationships that you keep after. I've really been blessed to be with a lot of them and have a good relationship with them, but our lives is different, of course. But one of them is Karambe, of course, still with the shampoo in his head.
Yeah.
And
busy with
yeah. He's doing still the shampoo. He's still in the dressing room. And then Roberto Carlos. For sure.
Lovely boys,
Ronaldo,
of course.
Yeah, Ronaldo, Serginho, Dida are very close.
Eros Ramazzotti, I see you once in Faro with him.
No, not so close, but he was one of the fans, and we were his fans, so we would meet. And then there are so many others who the relationship is really good. We maybe not call Mijatovic is another one.
Yeah.
Predrag Mijatovic is a very, very close friend as well. But this is what is, you know, the beauty for me is that even if we don't speak every week or something, but if we need something, we see each other, it's amazing. It's amazing.
All gets back again and it builds again this
100%.
great days.
And of course, Patrick Kluivert.
Patrick.
I don't even mention the guys from the Netherlands because we grow up together since we were 10 years.
And boys from Ajax, yes. You mentioned how much you do, like beside the football, and we also heard that you do a lot with Habib, and you create. Like
SK Performance Club. SK, yes.
We know him as a really man of word, with his character as well. So we respect, and our nations are really close. They respect each other a lot with the culture. It's quite close. They were really neighbors here.
Yeah, of course.
And it's also very known here. Tell us about him, and tell us how it comes, this like a connection, how it comes, and tell us how much he loves this game, how much he loves football, how much he understands football actually.
I don't know about the understanding, but he's very passionate, very passionate. And I think our connection starts with what you said in the beginning about us as persons. Our values are very similar. He likes to give back to society, to the kids. I like to do that as well. I had this project already happening to create global football schools. And integrating martial arts is a fantastic thing, because a combination for kids is always good to understand. It's not about the fighting, but it's about the discipline that you get. You know, football, we have so many undisciplined football players. Because
youngest, I think, yes? It's not about the sport, people. It's also about your own.
No, community.
How to grow, how to be a man.
As a person, exactly.
Yeah, as a person.
And that is the most important thing, because even there have many kids, rightfully so, dreaming to become a professional maybe in any sports. We always say that even if you become, you need to prepare yourself for after, and when you become, we would like you to become a positive role model. So, and therefore education is important, therefore knowing yourself is important, and this is how we grew up as a person, Habib himself, I myself, to be in a good place as a person, and then everything else is extra, right? And so yeah, he's very passionate about football, very passionate. And
does he play sometimes himself?
No, he's traveling around.
Yeah,
he's doing so much stuff. I don't even know where he is. Sometimes I see him one day there, other day. I ask him, do you have a twin brother, by the way?
Then you can send him. Actually, I have. I can send Archie sometimes, yes, but he doesn't have that. Doesn't have that looks, you know.
Yeah, that is. But no, he's not so. I mean, he has a lot of things himself that he's doing. I'm taking more care of this part of the business. But the thing that we do share really is this common passion for the game of sports, football, and also for kids. And yeah, hopefully soon we will be able to do some things in this region as well, because we want to make this a global initiative. So we're now in Canada, in Brazil, in Saudi. We're starting in Dubai very soon. So we're just trying to grow bit by bit.
Good. Clarence, behalf of my country, behalf of my lovely city, Tiflis, capital of Georgia, behalf of all the supporters and the guests we have, we wanted to give you huge applause.
Thank you so much.
Many, many thanks.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
Clarence Seedorf.
Thank you so much.
One and
Thank
only.
you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure,
Thank you.
Clarence. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.